A packed courtroom. A judge's gavel slamming down so hard it almost cracked the bench, and right in the back row. Yeah, a whole row of officers smirking like they'd already won. If you've ever seen a show trial, you know the energy. But what none of those guys realized was just how much they were about to lose, how quick power can flip when you least expect it. Honestly, the folks who act the cockiest are almost always the least prepared for the fallout. You ever see somebody get exactly what's coming to them, right when they're sure they've gotten away with it? Think about it, and let me know in the comments. Anyway, back to where it really started. Alicia Monroe, who's about 5'8", no nonsense, and has that look like she's been through hell and walked out the other side. She's standing on the steps of Marshall University, giving a guest lecture on social policy, when out of nowhere, two campus cops show up and slap cuffs on her, right in the middle of her speech. I mean, the whole auditorium just freezes. Students staring, cell phones everywhere, flashes popping. The guy behind her, a meathead named Dunlap, tightens the cuffs, presses his knee into her back like she's about to swing, and tells her, "Keep your mouth shut." Alicia, though, she just breathes through it. Doesn't argue, doesn't plead, just stares straight ahead, like she already knows how this is going to play out. Like she's seen it before. Honestly, she probably has. As they haul her through the crowd, every kid is filming, and she's the calmest person in the building. The driver, Torres, keeps glancing at her in the mirror, stocky, bald, looking for a reaction. His buddy snickers. Crazy how easy it is, huh? Dunlap goes, barely had to try. Some of them just make it too easy. Alicia finally looks over, voice steady as a judge. What exactly was easy? And that's when Dunlap whips out a little bag of white powder like it's the grand finale. Found this in your purse. She just raises an eyebrow. Funny, that wasn't there a minute ago. You could feel the temperature drop. They're so sure of themselves, but she's just letting them dig the hole deeper. They don't take her straight into the main station. Nah, they keep her waiting, try to rattle her, but she doesn't flinch. They process her like anyone else. Mugshot, fingerprints. What's your name? She just tilts her head and says, "Did you check my ID?" The desk cop barely looks up. You'll be in the system soon enough. Except the second he types her name, the screen glitches, his face goes slack, and suddenly, nobody's so sure of anything. Captain, the desk cop mutters, and now even Dunlap's looking nervous. The captain, Robert Vance, old school, gray temples, carries himself like he owns the building. Comes out, takes one look at her, and his whole attitude changes. "Oh hell," he mutters. Alicia just smiles, cool as ice. "Problem, Captain?" The precinct goes dead quiet. Vance pulls up her file, but it's just blank, redacted, every field classified. "Who the hell are you?" he asks. She gives a half shrug. "You should have done your homework. I mean, you can feel the air go thick." She leans in, whispers, "By the time you figure it out, it'll be too late." Vance doesn't say a word. He knows now this wasn't just some random guest lecturer. He's realizing, way too late, they've arrested the wrong woman. They throw her in holding, still in cuffs, still totally calm, surrounded by women who just give her space. After a while, a young officer, nervous, like he's still figuring out how deep he's in, calls her out for a meeting with her lawyer. David Keller, assigned public defender, looks as tired as his suit. "Ms. Monroe, I'm David." Alicia cuts him off. They planted the evidence. He tries the whole plea deal speech, the usual dance. "If you just admit to possession." She just laughs, not because it's funny, but because it's absurd. "Do I look like a drug dealer to you?" Keller hesitates, then finally asks, "Who are you really?" She just stares, doesn't blink. "What do you think?" After a beat, he gives up the game. "Okay, no plea deal. We fight." That's when things start shifting. In the precinct, word spreads. Something about her isn't adding up. The old bravado from Dunlap and Torres is gone. The tension's a living thing. You can almost hear the whole place holding its breath. She's called to Vance's office, and for the first time, she's not the one in trouble. He pulls out her file, a thick folder, nothing but blacked out lines, and asks, "How high up are you?" She doesn't answer. He's sweating now. "Director?" He barely gets the word out. The badge on his desk suddenly feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds. Meanwhile, out in the main room, the guys who planted the evidence are celebrating like they just caught a terrorist. They have no idea they're minutes away from getting eaten alive. Vance finally unlocks Alicia's cuffs, hands shaking. You better call them in here before I do, she tells him, and you can see in his eyes that he believes her. He's already pressing the intercom. Officers Dunlap and Torres to my office now. You could hear a pin drop. Alicia walks past them, cool as ever, gives Dunlap a look. Enjoy the next 5 minutes. They'll be your last as a cop. He doesn't get it yet. Right then, a man in a sharp suit steps into the precinct. Director Monroe, we're here to take you home. The whole place freezes. She walks out, head high, past a sea of stunned faces. Nobody's laughing now. Outside, the black SUV is waiting. The agent beside her just asks quietly, "You good, Director?" She flexes her wrists, looks out at the city, and says, "I will be." At federal headquarters, she's greeted by a dozen serious faces, some relieved, some furious, but nobody's confused anymore. The Attorney General's waiting with the head of Internal Affairs, a woman who looks like she could eat steel for breakfast. "You caused quite a mess," the AG says. Alicia leans in, dead calm. "No, I exposed one." Internal Affairs gives the update. Dunlap and Torres have confessed, the prosecutors suspended, and the whole precinct's under investigation for years of dirty cases. The AG warns her, "You just turned a local screw-up into a national scandal. The media is going to explode. This isn't going away." Alicia shrugs. "Good. This is the fight." By the end of the day, Alicia's standing at a podium in front of every camera in the city, room packed so tight you can barely move, agents standing at her back. "Good evening," she says, her voice cutting through the room. "I was unlawfully arrested yesterday, on camera, in front of witnesses. Those responsible are already in custody. This isn't about me, or even about one case. It's about a pattern, a system designed to bury people who don't have power." She looks dead into the cameras. This ends now. Reporters are shouting, cameras flashing, and as Alicia Monroe walks off that stage, it's not just her story anymore. It's every story that got swept under the rug, every person who got buried by the system. Now, suddenly, the world is watching, and there's no putting the lid back on. So here's the question. Do you think justice ever really catches up with people who think they're untouchable, or does it take somebody burning the house down from the inside to make a real difference? I want to hear your take, right or wrong. What would you do if the system turned on you, or someone you loved? Drop your thoughts below, because if we're ever going to fix this mess, it starts with not looking away.